Hello and welcome to BatFlip Crazy YouTube. I'm your host, Toby. Today we are going to be doing a baseball savant search for hitters, looking at exit velocity by launch angle. We have heard so much about how exit velocity is really critical, but one of the things that we don't often hear is how much, well, we do hear it, that launch angle is important too, but it's really the combination of the two that results in the type of contact that we want to see. For instance, if you're hitting the ball 100 miles per hour on average, but you have a negative launch angle, you're going to do a lot less damage than if you're averaging 100 mile per hour at better launch angles like 17 to 30 degrees, which are home run launch angles. So we're going to take a look at how we search for average exit velocity by launch angle. So we are going to start out right here with the Statcast Search. Click on that Statcast Search. And what we're going to look for is, number one, you can do this for pitchers, but we're going to focus on hitters. It's a lot more fun. So we're going to go to batter, change that. The default is always pitcher here, so go to batter. Now what we're going to be doing is looking at this metric range here. Now this allows you to filter based on certain metrics. Now we're interested in filtering exit velocity by launch angle. So we are going to go to launch angle right here. And you're essentially going to have two options. You can pick a greater than and then a less than. So you can pick a range, or else you could do something like, one of my favorite searches is just to go to greater than 0 degrees. So launch angle is greater than 0 degrees. So essentially, this does include some ground balls, but generally if you hit the ball 100 miles per hour, the results are going to be really good. And then I'm going to go to the sort by right here, and instead of pitches, I'm going to go to average exit velocity. I can find it. There you go. Now this right here is going to give us a look at everybody with the highest average exit velocity at balls hit over 0 degrees. So let's take a look and see what this is. Give it a little time while it thinks. All right, so here are our search results. So what you're going to see is there's a lot of one results, right? Ryder Jones had one ball hit above 0 degrees, and he's at 112. Look at our buddy Jeff Zamarja right there, Francisco Liriano, Brian Johnson. So we're getting a lot of noise here. So let's actually limit this by results. So just go to results right here, and you don't actually have to pick a huge number, right? Let's just even pick 10. And we're going to filter that. And so that's going to only give us the average exit velocity on batters with launch angle above 0, who have at least 10 batted balls above 0 degrees in launch angle. And just wait to update that search. And then scroll down to see the results. And so not surprisingly, Aaron Judge at the top right here. We have Danny Santana, but again, just 11 results right there. Miggy Cabrera, great average exit velocity. David Boat showing up right here. JD Martinez always in all of these types of Statcast measures. And look at that. He's got 239 results, and he's averaging 96.7 degrees. We don't want to see every single ball he's hit there, so we're just going to close that back up. But you can kind of see, and you can sort through here, and there's some interesting folks, right? Oh, look. Ryan O'Hearn, he's been making some noise recently. He's hitting the ball really hard. And exit velocity is really a skill, right? There are certain players who we know can hit the ball really hard, and there are other players who we know who are not as good at hitting the ball hard, right? So let's scroll down here to the bottom. Jesus Sucre, Luis Castillo, Alan Hansen, guys that aren't your traditional power hitters. Now, what if we want to look at average exit velocity at kind of your dangerous launch angles, right? Let's look at average exit velocity. We know that the vast majority of home runs go between about 17 and 42 degrees. So we're going to do 17 and then 42 degrees here. And then average exit velocity, minimum results 10. And this is for the whole season, right? We can filter by date range if we want to right over here. So let's see if there's any surprises that we look at right here. Look at that. Ryan O'Hearn is leading at 99.9 miles per hour with 15 results. Now that is a little surprising. Joey Gallo, not so surprising. Max Stassi, Gary Sanchez, despite his struggles this year, still hitting the ball hard. Teoscar Hernandez, a guy that if he ever makes decent contact will just be a great asset. But you can kind of see and go through here. Aaron Judge is obviously here, but you see like a guy like Chris Davis with that exit velocity and the actual volume too there. So this is kind of a fun one to go through. You can also play with this, move it down to 30 degrees. These are your really, really solid, like hard drive types right here that you really want to see. Look at this, 102 miles per hour, O'Hearn, Zunino, Sanchez, Boat, Gallo, Stassi, Avasale Garcia, Laureano. So you can see kind of where you can identify maybe some guys who are coming up who may be worth a shot because they're hitting the ball hard, and not everybody can do that, right? They may be able to do it once or twice, but to do that consistently, see, is definitely a skill. So as you can see, we just went through looking up average exit velocity by launch angle right here. There's a ton of other ways that you could filter this, right? You could do it by date. So, okay, over the last, month, who's got the highest average exit velocity? We may have to change the results here from 10, because there's not a ton of guys who are going to have hit 10. But, you're seeing Chris Davis and Ryan Zimmerman and Marcelo Ozuna, Matt Olson, Avasale Garcia. So guys that you would kind of expect. So there's a bunch of different ways to do. And one thing that I think is really, really fun is actually, I'll show you a new filter just really quickly. I don't want to take up too much time, but this is based on player. So let's say you want to compare a player to league average. You just go down here and you change the group by, and you go to league. Let's change that to 0. Okay, let's run this. Let's see what the average exit velocity at that launch angle is. There you go, 92.1. So you can kind of compare people to the league average. So that is how you look up exit velocity by launch angle on Baseball Savant using the Statcast Search. There's so much cool stuff that you can do with this feature. Definitely recommend getting in there and playing with it. Hope you found this video valuable. If you have, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at BatFlip Crazy. Thank you so much for watching.